to that place. But there are so many who are afraid. The fear of enlightenment will keep people from experiencing the beauty of who they are. Now, this is where we say how to get out of that fear. It's not needed for you to change any more than you want to. And this is important, dear ones. You have free choice. Honor your own feelings. Some of you may want to know more. Some of you may want to even share this information with those you believe really are closet light workers, so that they understand a little more. The invitation is there, but there are no shoulds here. We just tell you this so you could recognize it in yourself and say, aha, I knew it. There's something keeping me from that next step. Not anymore. And you could even say these words, all of these memories are gone. They're not pertinent today. They're not magnificent for me today. And so they will no longer control my life. Simple. That's the power of the old soul. And so it is.
And as you bring your awareness back into your body, let's just take a moment and give everybody an energetic embrace. And I want to embrace everyone, because we all have, I believe, people in our family or friends that we know that do have that fear of enlightenment. And let's just collectively embrace each other, and an energetic embrace to those that we really love that do have that fear of enlightenment. And let's love them even more, if that's even possible. What a beautiful message from Kryon.
Thank you. Yeah, Kryon has been talking about that for many, many years. It's kind of a hidden fear. People don't really think about it much.
Yeah.
What people have been through.
I think, and it more explains with our partners or our brothers and sisters, or people in our family or friends, where they're on the edge of wanting to know.
I know. I've heard this so many times. Why doesn't my wife or my husband get it? Because they're right. I mean, they're really, I can tell that they would accept it. Mm-hmm. They just don't want to go there.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly. But let's see now if our guest for today is online with us. Marilyn Harper, are you there?
Yes, I am here and excited to be here.
Well, we are excited to have you, and this is a wonderful time for us to explore the other side of you, because we've just worked with you in the capacity of a channeler, and yet today we really want to delve into your role as a healer.
Most people don't have any idea that Marilyn has profound healing courses. There's all attributes, and she's been doing this a long time. We tend to see her only as the magic of the channeling that she does, because there's so many that she channels. And we've been channeling for years and years and years, so some of these things are going to be new to me as well, I'm sure, as we present them.
So let's tell everyone about Marilyn.
Let's tell everyone about Marilyn. In 1990,
wow.
Yes, this is only 2 years after I started channeling Kryon, so that's a while back. After becoming attuned to Reiki 2 and becoming a certified intuitive, she was working with a client and suddenly realized she could see into their body.
Wow.
That is amazing. She then gave an intent for a complete healing for this person. Now, this is what she would normally do. I think this is what any of us do if we could see into somebody. She gave intent, and their pain was gone, and the diagnosis of the chronic disease was also gone, they see later. No one was more surprised that this took place in this way than Marilyn, because she just felt everybody could do it.
Wow, what an amazing story. But it doesn't stop there, because from that, Marilyn created a 5-level certification program called Holographic Healing. It's more than just simply seeing into the body, though. The program, it helps practitioners and clients understand their past trauma and the part that that past trauma has played in the disease. And through visualized, intuitive training, the patient can transmute their trauma back into perfection.
So holographic healing, that's what it's called, has helped hundreds of practitioners and their clients avoid surgery, joint replacement. It's even restored some sight.
That's amazing.
To me, right away, from the stories that I've been telling and all, I understand this. This really, truly, it really works based upon the sight that has been restored even with me. Marilyn teaches students to enhance their own innate abilities and discover exactly how buried negative patterns can emerge for healing. Now, I know you're there, Marilyn, and I've never interviewed you in this capacity before, so I'm so interested. Tell us the story.
Well, thank you so much, Lee and Monica. I appreciate all that you do and helping to bring this forward because, again, most people, as you say, know me as the channel for Adironda, but not as the healing practitioner or as the facilitator or teacher of this healing. You know, and it's so fascinating how it all occurred. It was, I mean, you could have blown me over with a feather when the first time I worked on someone, I actually could see or sense into their bodies. And Lee, I'm sure you don't have any idea what a turning point you were, and even Monica later on, what a turning point she was in the development of holographic healing. In, I don't know if it was 2001, 2002, I actually saw you in person in St. Louis, Missouri, and your talk was all about messages from the water. I'm sure you probably remember that, but or the talk anyway, not me.
Yeah, this was Masaru Emoto's work that we were then displaying, and back then it was pretty cutting edge. Yeah, I remember that.
It was cutting edge, and when I listened to you, and I thought, you know, if water responds to human emotion, shouldn't everything else respond to human emotion? And that's what really triggered me working more and more effectively with people in channeled sessions. Adironda always says that that I'm the healer, and they just magnify that energy. Or I'm the healing practitioner, they magnify that energy. And so I developed this technique called holographic healing, and I didn't even have a name for it. I called it interdimensional healing, which is like, whatever that means. Who would have thought? So, you know, that's what I've done. And we call it holographic healing. And what happens is I've documented, I don't know, thousands of sessions, and worked with the body's ability, an individual's ability to heal their own energy and to acknowledge their own facilitation of that energy on themselves. And the possibilities are infinite. I've yet to see, someone asked me just the other day, well, will this generate or regenerate muscle tissue? It's like, why not? Will it regenerate bones? Yes, I have actually worked on broken bones at a retreat that I did once. We were climbing on a mountain, which is not my favorite necessarily thing to do. But one of the older members of our team, or our group, it wasn't our team, our group that was attending the retreat fell. And she tumbled, you know, probably 15 feet down the hill. And when she stopped against a rock, her leg was actually going in a direction that her leg should not have been going in. And we were, you know, 9,000 feet, and we didn't know what to do. So I immediately went into the energy and asked the other, you know, people that were there to just hold the space. And I started knitting the bones back together. and aligning them into perfection. And without me touching her, her leg actually moved into alignment and she walked off that mountain. And that was what I thought. I think I might have something here.
I think you might have something there too.
Was that some? Did it surprise you at that time, or were you pretty confident that this would work?
Shocked me. Shocked me. I had no idea. Well, I mean, the first time I ever really saw, and I use that term loosely, sensed inside somebody's bodies, I saw knots of rope inside of their body. And I thought that can't be possible. Well, I just followed my own intuition, and which is why we also now teach how to develop your intuition, and I had the client go in and untie those ropes, and that helped her digestive system, which is what we were working on. Now, she didn't physically have ropes in her digestion, but that intention is what played the part. And it was amazing. And then when this lady walked off of the mountain, I thought, how is that even possible? And I didn't even think about it while it was happening. Afterwards, I asked her how she felt, what happened, and she said, well, it was a lot of pain, and I've discovered in mending bones since then, bone mending is not a comfortable thing, but it works pretty expeditiously. She could feel her leg moving kind of on its own. She didn't move it muscularly herself. And so that's when I really started focusing on, okay, so what did I do? How did that happen? And thank God I'm a journaler, because at that moment in time, I never thought of teaching it to somebody else. I only thought of, how is this happening? And, it all really happens with intention and visualization. And, anybody can intention something and anybody can visualize something. So I had to go get over, so why is it that I'm doing this and other people are not? And it's like, well, maybe other people are, I don't know. Because when I woke up, spiritually and experienced my transformation, I was attuned to Reiki, and I went and bought all the books on how to heal, and I thought, I'll be a healer when I grow up. And the next day I couldn't read any of them. So, now move forward to where I was overrun with private sessions and had no time, and Monica said, why don't you teach other people? And holographic healing, it opens up the doorway to the possibilities. And we do some really specific exercises to help people have the realization that they have this ability, that it's not me because I'm a channel, or not me because I'm so special, even though we all know how special we are. We all are special. And, Kryon has said about your innate abilities. I mean, Master Yeshua, Jesus said, you can do things that are greater than me. Where we got the idea that we could not, that's kind of what this is based upon. So in body mastery level 1, it opens that gateway. Then in level 2, we teach people how to go into the Akashic records. And how important the Akashic records are to a person's healing, right? And because every dis-ease or every misalignment or every challenge, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever, has an emotional core of something that happened either in their childhood, in their lifetime, in this life, or in any other life. And so in level 2, we teach people very simply how to get into the Akash, which is, for your listeners that may not know what that is, I'm sure they probably do, but just in case, the Akashic records are every thought, word, idea, situation, conversation, experience that has ever happened to your soul from its inception has been recorded in your Akash. Now, in the beginning, I thought the Akash was in the physical body, but I've since learned that it is actually in the field. The Akashic records are in your field as well as your cellular body. And so what we do is so level 1 is about identifying the problem and being able to look at an X-ray or read an X-ray or read a radiology report and understand it. And then level 2, maybe that was level 1. Level 2 is about going in through the emotional body and seeing what kind of similarities, what kind of habits. Through the Akash, you can actually go all the way back to dis-ease, to its origin. And again, as I was working with people in their healing practice, I was working with someone that had macular degeneration, and she'd been diagnosed with macular degeneration. I always teach people to say it that way, that they don't have macular degeneration, they've been diagnosed with it. Because when you say, I have this disease, then you own it. And then it becomes stronger in your energy field. So don't say that. Instead, say you've been diagnosed with this and that you're looking to find a way beyond it. And so I was working with someone with macular degeneration, and when we got to, she was for all intensive purposes blind. She could not see her cell phone. She could not lay on her bed with a white ceiling and a fan above her and see the fan. That's how her eyesight had degenerated. And I had never worked with someone like that before. But we went into her Akash, and we found time and time again when she saw things and others were punished because of what she saw. So therefore, in this life, she simply took that option away, on an emotional level. And so, anybody can go into their own Akashic records and see those kinds of aspects. So what happened was, with this particular client, we took that option, we reprogrammed her energy to see how good things can happen from sight. And then we went in with etheric tools and cleaned up the flakes or the degeneration of the macula, which is on the inside of the eye. And she could see better after one session.
Wow.
Yeah. It took several sessions, as many times it does, but then she drove. That's how. And she could see while she drove.
And she could.
More importantly, she could see while she drove.
And the most important thing, she could see the fan above her bed.
That's right. She could see the fan. She could see the pictures that she took of her grandkids.
Now, you have given us a couple of slides here at the studio that you would like us to show at some point in time. So I don't want you to run out of time. We'll get to that point.
Yes. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to, if it's okay with you and we have time, take you into your own spine. And I'm going to show you a couple of pictures so you have a little bit of, this is the Reader's Digest condensed version.
Good.
And then we're going to go into your spine, not your spine, but all of your listeners' spine, and sort of view that in the energy. Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, just quickly, quantum vision is level 3, and that teaches you to see remotely. or sense remotely. Not everybody's a seer. Some people are hearers, sensors, whatever. So in that level, we teach you how you get your information and to be able to identify it. And so quantum vision mastery level 3 is about experiencing those techniques to remotely view inside the body. Level 4 is about practicing mastery, which you would think it's about mastering your practice. But practicing mastery is really about becoming as clear as you can, because as a healing practitioner, you really do not want your own personal opinion getting involved. So you get the opportunity to learn to be a master of your own belief systems, a master. You may think you know something, but turn it over to your intuition, turn it over and allow whatever to present. If I could give you any advice to your audience today, it's like, if you can get your conscious mind out of the way and just allow their body or your client or your own body to tell you what the situation is, and that you can view that without prejudice or bias or beliefs that it must be something different than it is. So that technique is what we teach in practicing mastery: how to follow your beliefs, how to know what you're seeing, how to identify it, and how to really be the master that you were put here to be.
All right.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what I wanted to share with people today. Level 5 is certification, and it's live nighttime. And anyway, that's a whole other program, and that's on our website. But I would love it if we could actually do a little guided meditation.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's play.
I'm ready.
Okay, so first of all, before we go in, we're going to look at the spine. I want to just show your audience a couple of pictures just to give them some framework. This is the Reader's Digest condensed version. So if we could just give your audience a little bit of, if you can show those 2 slides that I showed you.
Yep.
We're seeing one of them now.
They're seeing them.
Okay, excellent. So that is an artist's rendering of the perfect spine. So just kind of take a deep breath and look at that for just a moment. Excellent. Now if you can go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
That is an actual X-ray of someone's spine. And so just breathe on that a little bit. So thank you. That will just give you a little bit of a, so you might be able to see a little better what you're identifying. So now we're going to go look at our own spine. So take a deep breath and just settle your energy. Take another deep breath. Just breathe slowly, naturally, in and out. And on your next deep breath, we're going to breathe into our heart, that heart coherence. Just give thanks for your heart and give thanks for where you are. If you can visualize a scene or a situation or an experience that whenever you think about it, it just brings a smile to your face. And allow that smile to just radiate from your heart and radiate out. Excellent. Now we're going to ask you to visualize, use your imagination, and visualize what it might look like if you were to be above your head and then go inside like you were a little being that could go inside of your skull. And imagine what that looks like, to see that your brain and how it has little electrical currents that run through it, how it moves with every single beat of your heart. Just visualize that for a moment. Breathe into it. Excellent. And if you need a little more light on the subject, bring in a little flashlight. Let's go back to the back of your brain, right where your brain stem connects to your spinal column. There's all kinds of muscles and nerves and veins and arteries, and you'll begin to imagine that very top vertebrae. It may be kind of cream or white in color. Whatever color you imagine is perfect. And just look at that top vertebrae, and does it look even? Is it crooked? Or is it level? And if you look around at different levels, because we're all interdimensional, and you look around at different levels, you can see inside that there's little holes on either side of that vertebrae that go right through it. And there's actually nerves that run through those little holes that connect with the next vertebrae down. So just imagine looking at your spine from the top vertebrae going down each vertebrae. And if it seems to be a little out of balance or a little crooked, just visualize a pair of iridescent healing hands coming in from your own guidance system and placing those healing hands on either side of your spine and just sending them love. You can imagine that. Just send that spine love. And go all the way down every aspect. Just go all the way down your spine, each vertebrae,